We will need to make use of all our 34 MPs, and that is why you'll see that some of the more significant portfolios are actually held by those who are not necessarily in the front bench. It's a fresh lineup, but it has an obvious focus. It emphasises the messages that I've been sending since taking over the leadership of having of a clean, green, clever and innovative New Zealand, for a New Zealand that gets behind and supports families and communities, and for a New Zealand that rewards hard work and talent. It also recognises the problems facing New Zealand and the need for a plan and vision to grow our economy. We acknowledge we've got some work to do to bring New Zealanders back to Labour, and to have them see that Labour is the party that will bring about an exciting and fresh vision and future for this country. Let's run through the portfolio list that you have in front of you. I will be taking over the Science and Innovation portfolio. That should be seen as a signal that this area is an important area for us and an area we want to pursue. Grant Robertson will be taking on environment, again as a signal that the environment is at the top of our agenda, but he also takes on tertiary education and skills. These are the means by which we'll be able to build that innovative economy that I talked about. David Parker will have the finance portfolio. David will bring a different perspective, I think, to the finance portfolio, and will be a good use of his huge intelligence. Jacinda Ardern takes over social development. Jacinda is an extraordinarily talented and hard-working MP who has been shadowing part of this portfolio in the last term, and will step right into it very quickly. David Cunliffe takes over economic development. This is an extremely important portfolio because in some ways it brings together the other aspects that I've talked about before in driving forward the economic vision for our future. Clayton Cosgrove will be looking at the state-owned assets. In particular, he'll be our bulldog, which will be leading the charge against their sale. But he also takes on commerce and small business. And this is important because we want to elevate commerce and small business up the order to emphasise the importance of that. Shane Jones looks at regional development, fisheries, Maori development. Again, it's a focus on the provinces and regional development, something that I don't think we did adequately enough during the election, and will provide a real focus on the provincial part of New Zealand. And Nanaya Mahuta will take on education. She's passionate about this area. She brings big experience and talent to the area, and I think she will be more than a match for Heki Parata on the other side of the house. I'll just leave it at that, and I'm happy to take any questions that you might want to.
David Cunliffe has been able to hold on to a very senior role. What's behind that?
It just reflects his talent. As I said, he is a really talented politician. He's got lots of experience in this area. He's got international experience as well. I think he'll do a really good job, and I'm very, very pleased to have him in that role.
Did he threaten to quit? Did he threaten to quit if he wasn't? Did he threaten to quit if he wasn't held so well?
No, there wasn't anything like that at all.
The first
original ranking you offered him?
I offered him the job, and we talked about rankings, and he's happy with it.
And what's the associate finance delegation?
That's to be sorted out finally with between David Parker and himself and the rest of the other finance team.
Will his responsibility be to oppose Stephen Joyce in the House?
Yes, it will be. He'll be up against Stephen Joyce, and I think, as you've probably seen him before against Stephen Joyce, he'll be more than a match for Stephen Joyce.
So the fourth ranked position and the economic development portfolio were the first portfolios and position that you offered David Cunliffe?
I offered him economic development at a number at that slot there, and he took it. I was very happy that he did.
Did you give any consideration to leaving him in the finance role?
No, not really, because I saw David Parker as providing a different perspective than what David Cunliffe had done before, and I thought David Cunliffe could given his background, could actually provide us also with a new, fresh look in the economic development space.
When you say different perspective, what do you mean by that?
I think David Parker will just look at the finance role differently. He's a very forensic thinker in the way he goes about things. It will just provide a different perspective of what we've had in the last 3 years.
Was there any deal or support? Was there any deal or arrangement with David Parker beforehand for that finance role?
No, there wasn't. I made it very clear before that I made no promises to anybody before while I was in the leadership contest.
Jacinda,
Yeah, you suggest that David Parker's approach, that he'll be more detailed in his analysis of what the government's up to than David Cunliffe was.
I think it'll be different. I'm not saying that it'll be better or worse. I think it'll just be very different. And I think that very detailed work that he'll do around that will provide a different emphasis and perhaps an area where we can drill down a little more into what the government's planning to do.
Why will the different emphasis be?
Well, we'll see when he comes onto the scene.